Peter Mimo has just left for the Lynx. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with friends. Thanks for hanging in there with us. I should say me. Before I continue, I just want to, and take some calls, I want to make a correction. It was not the governor, obviously, of Wisconsin. Attorney General Josh Kyle, as I guess you would say his name, has filed felony charges against attorneys' aide who worked for Trump in 2020 for fake election scheme. Kenneth Jesbro, I guess that's how you would say his name, Cheesebro, James Tupis, and Mike Roman. Why do I mention this? Because I constantly hear, all the time, that if Trump was to get into office, that he's going to be revengeful. My God, come on, Barry, wake up. Stone, Flynn, Bannon, Navarro, Manafort, Giuliani, Papadopoulos, Eastman, Sidney Powell, Mark Meadows, 19 others have all been prosecuted. And Democrats are worrying about if Trump would get back into office. So I just wanted to make that point. We have some callers that are calling in. Let me get to the lines. Hope Danoff, good morning. You are on with Barry Sable and friends. How are you, my friend?
Oh, my gosh. Great to be with you today.
Thank you, Hope. What's on your mind today? Why don't you tell us who you are and what you're trying to accomplish?
Wonderful. Well, I've got a grassroots movement called RepublicansWithHope.com, and it's really about making positive changes in our country. I was sick and tired of seeing where the country was headed, and I wanted to make a difference.
Yes.
And I would love everybody to go to our website because we have lots of events being planned. And we're really building bridges, Barry, with the inner city and with the youth and actually Chinese families, too. We just had a great meeting with Chinese families to register them to vote Republican for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Well, at this late stage of our life, and we won't talk about years, tell me what propelled you to get involved with politics as intensely as you are.
Well, I made changes on my own street, safety changes. I saw what one person could do. And I saw what Biden's administration was doing with the crime, with the open borders, with what's happening in the school system, with our feckless foreign policy. And I just wasn't going to stand by and do nothing. I started to work the polls. From there, I met lovely people, women. We started to have dinners. And then our first real kickoff was April 10th potluck, where like 75 people showed up. It was fantastic. And Dave McCormick, our U.S. Senate candidate, showed up for an hour and a half and took questions, among other people. So we are really booming, and I want to make a difference. And that's really how it all started. And we're making a difference in the inner city with minorities. We have great events coming up June 15th down on Oakdale Street with Community One, and then an event that you're going to be a keynote speaker at on June 20th at Aviva Restaurant on June 20th as well. So I just wanted to make a difference, and I see I'm already making a difference. I just ordered 33 boxes of mail-in ballots, and I just gave two to this wonderful Chinese family, 2 big boxes,
right,
and taking 2 boxes downtown and on. And we're building bridges. And to be honest with you, Barry, I hear it in the inner city, especially in these poor neighborhoods. They're like, we're always visited by Democrats. They don't do anything for us. Thank God you're here. Tell us about you.
Yes.
They're starving for a change.
Listen, before I let you go, one more time, tell us about your event, where it's going to be quickly, so maybe we can get some additional people there that night.
Wonderful. It's June 20th at Aviva Restaurant in Narberth. We're going to have Trump leaders there, McCormick leaders there, our beautiful Jim Kelly from WPHD. We're going to have Tom DeBello, our county commissioner. We're going to have you, which is amazing because I'm such a fan of yours.
Thank you.
And among other,
you make me blush, Hope.
I know. Well, you deserve it. Among other candidates, and Turning Point USA is flying in, and also the Black Conservative Federation leader is going to be there as well.
Wow. Good job. Listen, we will talk to you next week, and we'll remind our listeners what's happening that night. I want to thank you so much for the call.
Thank you so much.
Debbie, you're live on the air. Before I go to Owen Stauffer, Debbie, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can. I surely can. How are you?
Yay. How are you, Barry? First and foremost, I'm not going to call you Uncle Barry.
There you go.
Why do they call you Uncle Barry?
Well, listen, when you get to be my age, Yeah, you're everybody's
no,
uncle somewhere
no,
along
no,
the line. I love people, as you know.
no.
I love the kids, and to be honest with you, I've transitioned. I can't hit the ball over the fence anymore, and I surely can't go from first to third. So we've adopted Uncle Barry. So what's on your mind this morning, my friend?
Well, of course, as you know, fellow Mount Laurel resident, I'm
Yes.
running for council with two other fabulous candidates, Trish Barlow and Bob Briello. We're running for township council, the three of us, for in Mount Laurel, and we have plenty of concerns within the township. Number one, voter integrity. I'm worried about allowing non-citizens to be able to vote in municipalities. Now, I know there's about 17 municipalities across our country are already allowing it in about 8 different states, and Governor Murphy has loosened the reins in allowing
Yes.
municipalities to make their own laws and regulations on who votes. And I just think voter election integrity is important, and we are concerned about that. We're concerned about our school funding. We're concerned about safety. We're concerned about law and order. We need more police.
You surely do.
We're concerned about the drugs. There's 27 hotels in Mount Laurel, and there's a lot of drug action going on. And neighbors are coming to me and stating that they're afraid. They're
Yes.
afraid to go anywhere anymore. The smash and grab and thefts throughout our stores, and just residents in general, packages being stolen. I don't know what's going on in our country.
You
It's
do know
even
what's going on in the country. You just explained it, and you just told us, and I agree, and so does most of our listeners agree. It's problematic.
Guess
you
where
know.
I'm at
Yes.
today. So I'm from Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in Scranton, PA this
Wow.
morning. I'm here for the weekend to help take care of my mom, who's in a nursing home. And I come visit her as much as I can. So I'm here in Scranton, who Biden claims as where he grew up. I don't know anybody who knew him. I don't know, what was he, maybe even 5, and he claims that's where he grew up.
Well,
It's insane.
there's a lot of things he's been
It's-
claiming lately. Before I
Oh.
leave you go, I just want you to know I have ties to Scranton. My mom was born and raised in Scranton on Quincy Avenue in that area. So Uncle Barry is surely familiar. We used to go there quite a bit to visit my mom's sister and her husband and kids. So Scranton has a place in my heart. Listen, I want to thank you for the call. We will have you on again, and we will discuss your future endeavors. Owen Stauffer, thank you for calling in. We haven't talked in a minute on this show. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, no. I'm doing great, Barry. Thanks for having me on. We had a great show so far. Peter Nimmo really brings it every week. I'm always amazed by the facts that he has at hand, and he really does a good job for the show.
Yes.
I'm really impressed with him, and you too. You do a great job.
Well, I'm trying. Listen, here's the point I want to make to you before we start. You and Peter always rock and sock my game of golf. Can I say honestly that Uncle Barry shot an 81 the other day, a 40 front and a 41 back? You were part of my foursome, true or false? And I'm not even playing that much.
This is all true, but let me tell this audience. You know how many times I've heard this story since we played?
Of course, it might not happen for a while again.
I know. I'm so jealous of you.
Oh, and tell me what's on your mind. I mean, unfortunately, we haven't had you on. We've had all these people from the border and everything else. I need to know what's troubling you, Owen Stauffer.
Well, I had something I was going to start with, but what really troubles me is this border. I know you spent a lot of time on borders you talked about, but I just have to reiterate and say this is what bothers me. You know that Biden just signed this executive order. At best, people in. At 1.8 million come in.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question,
There's going to be more than one port. There's getaways. It really did nothing. It's nothing but a political
we all know that.
And anybody that believes that. Now, wait a minute. One other thing on the border I want to mention. Here's the real reason that the border is wide open, because they're trying to flood these states that lost. Do you know that on the last census that Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, California, Illinois, and West Virginia, they all lost seats? And they lost seats to House of Representatives, where power is.
Yes.
Well, guess what the open border is doing? They're flooding those states, those blue states. They're flooding them with illegals. You know why? Because they're going to be counted in the 2030 census, and that's going to give those Chicago and New York,
no green cards, no citizenship, and they're going to vote.
Those states back.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're going to give them those seats back. So these Democrats, they play the long game. That's what this is all about, the long game. But, as you know, I've never been a Trump guy. All right. But so be it. He's won the primary. He's the guy. So I can't in good conscience say all the good things about Trump. But here's what I can say. We need to replace Joe Biden. There's no question. You got to replace Joe Biden.
Oh, and the guy is your guy now. He's your starting pitcher. The season is starting. So if you don't like Trump, you don't have any choice right now. Frankly, I disagree. I disagree all the time.
I know we do. We could spend a lot of time arguing that, but it's a fait accompli. He's got it. And so, I'm not a never Trumper. I'm going to have to vote for him, I guess, or not vote.
What do you mean? Who are you going to vote for if you don't vote for him?
Yeah, I know. I keep saying it doesn't matter. I live in New Jersey, so it don't matter. My vote don't count.
Well, I don't think it's you. But I want to ask you a question. I want to go back to the border for 2 seconds. The border system, according to the Democrats, is broken. We have laws on the books. What the heck is anybody talking about? The border is broken, the border system. Are you talking about amnesty? Are you talking about deporting people is broken? What are they talking about?
They're talking about asylum. When people come to claim asylum, that they have to go in front of an asylum judge. There's a process, and it's that they have to go in front of asylum judges, and there's not enough judges. So therefore, what do you do with these people? Well, you can lock them up. Well, Trump tried to lock them up, and they said he was caging children. So it's a big look. It's broken because we don't have enough immigration judges to handle the valid claims that come in of asylum.
Oh, and listen, we are up against the break. I know that I had some other calls. We had other things to talk about. We will get to it next week. I thank you for your call. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with friends, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. We will see you on the other side. We are back. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with friends, and I am again in studio by myself. So it gives me an opportunity to express myself. Let me start with saying on Friday night, I wandered down the shore to Atlantic City, and I had an opportunity to go to the Hard Rock Casino and see Patti LaBelle. And at 80 years old, obviously, Dr. J can't dribble anymore, and Steve Carlton doesn't throw. Patti LaBelle was on stage, not quite what she used to be, but I have to tell you the truth. She's elegant, she's classy, and she was a treat. If you have an opportunity to go see a Patti LaBelle, a Diana Ross, a Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond, from our era, don't miss out, because these people are icons and they are special. So, Saturday morning I get up and I take a bike ride on the boardwalk, as I normally do, and I go basically down to the ocean, and then I come back and I stop at a restaurant and I have something to eat, and I just want to go over a bill that I incurred. So there was a sign outside that said, breakfast special, $9.99. No problem there. I take a seat, and I then order orange juice because I didn't want to drink Atlantic City water, and a cup of coffee, and I get a bill. And the bill came to $28.15. Why is that? A glass of orange juice, $8. Coffee, $4. I'm not dreaming. I have this bill in front of me. By the time I was done paying the bill, and it said also service fee $4.40 and sales tax $176. It cost me $30 to have breakfast. If you are with your mate, That's $60 for breakfast. No wonder why people aren't going to places like Atlantic City. Who could afford that? It's a joke. I want you just to think about it. I don't have much time, but I do have things that I do want to discuss quickly. It's rapid fire. Normally I have it with Peter. I'm going to have rapid fire with me. Gifts to the justices of the Supreme Courts. $5 million in gifts given to the justices since 2004. Is this an appearance of impropriety, I ask you? Does it degrade image of impartiality, I ask you? Beyonce has given gifts to Kenyatta Brown Jackson, billionaire Harlan Crow, given 2 trips to Clarence Thomas. I mean, I don't know. I ask you. I'm not going to tell you what I think. I'm going to let you tell me what you think. I want to know who is the 33% who are in favor of what's going on in this country today. 67% of the poll says they are not in agreement. Who is the 33%? I would love for them to call in this show and defend their positions. I don't know. You tell me. What else do I have here that I want to go over and discuss with you? Stand up for justice. Stand up to all hate. That's what I believe in. Let's talk about gasoline prices. I went back to 4 years ago to 2016. Well, it's actually a little bit more than 4 years ago. Let's call it 2020. Gasoline was $2.16 a gallon. It is now over $4. It's crazy. It's nuts. We need to be gasoline and energy independent again. So when we talk about unification of the United States, I don't see it. And we need that. We need help. We need to get back on track. And I'm sure you all agree with that. I want to talk about some local things before we go today. All these apartment buildings that are being built in the city, where the heck are all the people coming from to rent these places or buy these condos? If you take a trip on Spring Garden Street and Columbus Boulevard, there are buildings everywhere. Where are these people coming from? Can anybody tell me that? What do you think about moving the stadium to Center City? Is that the same footprint as the gallery? How will it affect Chinatown? These are questions that I ask you. I ask you parking. Where are all these people going to park? I understand Madison Square Garden. They have cabs all over the place. They have a complete subway system. We are defunct there. What's going to happen with that? Grab and go theft. Use innocent people like 9-year-old kids to rob. What are your thoughts on that? People Party, this is this new party that has something to do with City Hall, that they have seats in council, city council. What are your thoughts on that? I think Sherelle Parker is doing a terrific job. She is making government workers come in to work and not work at home. I think that's terrific. I think she's done a terrific job on trying to clean up Kensington. I think that's important. Governor, my God, I'm out of breath. Mayor Parker wants to use $100 million. She's on a mission to help people from suffering, homelessness, and addiction. I'm in favor of that. We need to do something. We need to get people off the street. I'm frankly in favor of people working. I want to give and create jobs for people that are capable of working. Let's go back to national. Couple in Chicago beat up the other day by 12 teens. My God, Jim, I'm already 30 seconds. All I say is that the 2 people got caught, 2 juveniles, and they let them go. Let me leave you with this thought before we go. Sometimes the person who's been there for everyone else needs someone to be there for them. Dream, decide, commit, and achieve. I want to thank Peter Mimo for joining me for half of the show this morning. Chris Clem as well. Philly, on your busy Sunday. Grateful to you for spending time with us. You have been listening to the Barry Sable Show with Friends. Talk radio, only 1210 WPHT. Have a great week, a healthy week, a safe week. It's summertime. Let's have a good time. We will see you next weekend. Thanks for always being there. I appreciate you.
I used to roll the dice, feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd